right. Well, it is my genuine pleasure. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, respect, man.
I understand that you have got some new material prepared that you're doing solo. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's only purely just a DJ.
Okay.
You know, just embarking on the whole DJ thing. You know, it's kind of like it's a good way of getting your music out there.
Yeah.
You know, and just playing your music and see what people respond to and whatever. It's a good way of just playing music, you know, and that's kind of it's an outlet really for me. Do you know what I mean? And I've got a female MC, so writing tracks with her.
Yeah.
So she vocalises and so forth. But yeah, it's good. You know, I really enjoyed it. The fact that you know, DJing kind of is an outlet to play music.
You put one track out that is either available to press or commercially available that I was streaming online that sounded pretty interesting. Can you talk a bit about your collaboration with your DJ and how that?
Yeah, I mean that track, Nasty Girl.
Nasty Girl, that's right. Yeah.
This is a free track, you know, just put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, just so people can hear. And yeah, you know, it's kind of just the flavour of kind of what I'm doing, you know, so that people know what I'm doing, that kind of style and so forth. But I kind of like the harder edge of dance music, you know, so, you know, I'm into the trap thing, do you know what I mean? I love the trap thing, but when I write music, it's almost kind of incorporating trap, a bit of hard rock, a bit of reggae.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Kind of merging all those elements together. So Nasty Girl is kind of like a bit more edgier side of trap. Well, I don't even know if it's called trap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you call it. Do you know what I mean? It's just hard music, you know, and it's just an excuse to play it and DJ it. So, yeah, but obviously predominantly I play trap music and then I slip in a few of my tracks around that. And then slowly, do you know what I mean? I'll probably just be playing all my tracks rather than any other artist tracks.
Will you put another like proper album out? Are you going to try to release something that's got a number of tracks that you're going to call your own, a solo album?
No, I'm kind of over the solo album thing. It's a bit of an ego. It's a bit of an ego trip, do you know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the Prodigy, do you know what I mean? And you know, we put out albums, Prodigy albums. I will put Sienna Blaze will be doing an album, do you know, my MC, because she's a really good MC. So I will be writing tracks with her to put her own album out. But personally, no, I'm so over doing solo albums.
Right.
You know.
Now I understand that there's going to be some new Prodigy material as well, that you guys are writing and working on stuff. Is that accurate?
Yeah. New album next year.
Yeah. How do you guys write? I don't know. I would think that you've got a kind of a different collaborative process than a lot of bands. Is that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the whole Prodigy setup is a totally different setup to the traditional band. You know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of it works for us,
right?
You know, and probably people look at the setup and think, well, that's a weird setup, but that's how we work as we're a live band.
Yeah.
And basically, when we first started, it was about the live performance.
Yeah.
It wasn't about going to the studio and writing albums. You know, that's kind of that trickled. The tunes actually trickled after that. You know, to support the live show. You know, and that's what it was about. It's about a live show. We need more songs for the live show. We need more songs for the live show, and that's what it's about. So. The whole process of writing, I mean, Liam writes the music, and Keith and myself, we do vocals. So, it's various ways. I mean, Keith might come up with an idea, with a tune idea, and him and Liam get together and write the idea together. Liam might just write an idea and say, oh yeah, I've got this idea, and then Keith might go in, or I might go in, and we do it together, or I might come with an idea. So it all works in different ways, you know.
Yeah.
It's about getting the product at the end of the day, getting a tune we're happy with that we can perform, because it's all about writing tunes and songs that we can perform on the stage. So yeah, it's not the traditional way of all going in the studio and jamming. It's not that kind of band. And you know, the live show feeds the studio.
Mm-hmm.
The studio feeds the live show. So it's important that we're always touring, we're always doing shows, because the energy from the crowd, which we get from the crowd, and we take that back to the studio to write the tunes. And then when we write the tunes, we go back out, and it's almost kind of like using this stage as a testing ground when we play the tune and see what the response is. If it goes down and we feel it and it's real, we keep it. If it doesn't work, it gets scrapped. It never gets seen again. Because you know, there's no point in keeping something that doesn't work. So we go back in the studio and write something else. So, you know. But it works for us. We've got a process that works, and
Why break it?
why break it? Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to change it. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to change it. We've got our own style. We've got our own sound, our own Prodigy sound. Do you know what I mean? It's just the same way as Rage Against the Machine's got their own sound.
Yeah.
We've got our own Prodigy sound, and that's what works for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got a hard, strong fan base, and yeah, we keep the fans happy. Do you know?
Well, speaking of keeping fans happy, can we talk a little bit about Worlds on Fire and that performance at Milton Keynes? That was insane.
Did you go? Did you?
I just watched. I mean, I'm from Toronto, Canada,
so you did go.
but it is hands down the most innovative and interesting live piece of music put onto a DVD that I think I've ever watched.
Yeah, we wanted to do like a DVD, or like a compilation of, obviously not just a Milton Keynes show, because there's other footage from other shows. You know, we did in Chicago, Brazil, Australia, you know, other countries. You know, just like footage from other shows.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make a good DVD you could watch, and it's, you know, for us is, we had to document Milton Keynes, but you know, it's always hard trying to get music and performance on a DVD and put it in someone's living room and think, wow, you know, we wanted to create a feeling that you wish you was there.
Yeah.
You watch it and think, wow, wish I was there, because you can't replicate that, you can't recreate that, you can't put a live performance on DVD.
It's
really.
so energetic, the way that it's edited. I just was so impressed with
It's kind of like you had to be there. That's the best experience, is to be there and to experience it live. But you know, that's the best we could do on the DVD. I hope it's kind of captured the whole vibe. You know.
How did you start working with Rob Halliday on guitars? How did you meet him and have him start working with you guys?
Oh, Rob. Rob, it's just that we needed a guitarist. You know, we've been through so many guitarists, and we needed a new guitarist. And I can't actually remember who put us in contact with Rob. You know, but you know, it's important for us to connect with someone who has the same likeness as us, same kind of energy as us, the same kind of musical taste, even though he doesn't really like 80s music.
Yeah.
He's got some really bad taste, actually.
But he's produced some 80s musicians, right? So, you know.
But he's very talented, you know, and we get on with Rob really well, do you know what I mean? So he's one of us, you know.
Is he a band member per se? I mean, he's been working with you on and off for almost a decade now, right?
Not really, no.
2006, 2007?
See, I mean, like, as far as the band goes, it's Keith, Liam and myself.
Yeah.
We're the band, and obviously, like I said, you know, we've been through like probably four or five guitarists in that time.
Yeah.
And up to Rob, and Rob's, you know, it's a hard one because you can't just say, come and join the band.
Yeah.
You know, because, like I said, we was talking about the structure, how music is written. We still do the same. We write the same way. I mean, Liam writes the music, and we all get, Keith and myself, inject our ideas and our vocals into that. So we're not trying to form a new band by okay, let's get a saxophonist, you know, a violinist, and you're in the band. And they're like, no, I want to play violin on this song. You know, it's not like that. It's, you know, the core members are core members, and you know. I always say Prodigy's like this tripod.
3 people.
Yeah, and one leg goes missing and it falls down.
Yeah. Jilted Generation changed my perception of what electronic music could be. It was innovative. It's still innovative now, and I'm curious how you, as musicians, strive to be the leading edge of electronic dance music 20 years on.
You know, when that album came out, that was kind of like a change in time for us. You know, it was because we were predominantly in the dance scene before that, and we just listened to dance music.
Yeah.
You know, we was going to raves, we was just listening to DJs, and that we actually came to the US and we actually toured. And I think that around that time, Chronic came out, Dr. Dre's album, and Keith bought Rage Against the Machine's album. And there was so many things what kind of made us change. You know, get our own sound around that time, because we were starting to do not just rave events or dance events, we were doing festivals, so we were seeing live bands. We was watching Helmet, Biohazard, you know, mixing with those guys, and, you know, cool guys. Big up Evan, he's cool, good friend Evan. But like just moving around in different circles, and it was at the Chronic, and Rage Against the Machine album. When we was touring around America, we was listening to those albums, and that was kind of like the starting point really of Jilted Generation, you know? And also the criminal justice bill in the UK. It's kind of messed up the whole rave scene, party scene. So it went back into the clubs, and when we came back to the UK, I mean, like Poison, for instance, music was going so fast, ridiculously fast. You know, like at the time we thought, let's take it down. You know, you can still be slow and you know a good tempo and 106 BPM and still be hard. So that's where the kind of Chronic kind of came into it. That's the tempo change, criminal justice bill. It all kind of changed how we saw music. And we took on other influences and Rage Against the Machine came in. That kind of influence came in. And their law got written. And obviously for the criminal justice bill, it was kind of like a fingers up to the criminal justice bill and so forth. So our outlook changed on the whole musical spectrum of what was out there, and we took on loads of different influences and created our own sound. We have our own sound, and the bottom line is we always, and I always say this, there always has to beats and bass. It has to be beats and bass. That's if you ain't got that, and I always joke with the others. I said, man, if there's no beats and bass, I'm out of the band.
Fair enough. Listen, man, thank you. I've absorbed enough of your time.
That's cool.
Would you mind just signing a CD for me?
Yeah, no problem.